into this video, there's a few things that the ABARTH needs to do for it to be a young driver's car. Hot hatches are great. They perform in a fantastic way. They're cheap, reliable, but the real question is, as a young driver, you will be going to McDonald's a lot. Can you fit this in the boot? The answer is yes. That's a good start. But say you're 19, 20 years old or 18 or whatever age you go to college in these days, or university, you'll want to make sure you can get your suitcase in it as well. So, can you fit a small suitcase in the back? Yes, you can. Good start. Entering the cabin, you'll find that this one has Sabelt bucket seats. Nice option. It also has carbon on the steering wheel, suede, all that good stuff, but none of that really matters. The thing that really matters is, can you get your new Hypebeast shoes that are well overpriced, that everyone seems to buy these days, on the pedals? Yes, you can. If we're in a 106 right now, 1.1, people would be buying for their first car. There's no way you could drive one of them with these shoes on. So that's a good point. Unfortunately though, if you do want to rest your foot to one side, ain't happening. The actual rest is too small for these rather large hovercraft shaped shoes. So that's something to note. Other things you're going to want to do while in this car are connect your phone, of course. Nice sound. Look at that. Amazing. It has Beats by Dre sound system in here, so it has the Beats speakers up here, has them down there. Very nice touch of bar. Now, unfortunately for me, I bought an iPhone 10, which is a great phone. You know, I'm an Apple nerd, don't get me wrong, but you can plug it in, but the Apple doesn't work on here anymore. Maybe it's just me being a bit silly, but it doesn't actually do the Apple CarPlay that it used to do, and my Uconnect, which is what this car has, doesn't work. So although the sound system is very good, and you can still Bluetooth stuff, it means your maps and all that other stuff can't go on there. Again, that's just me. I might not be able to actually get the phone to work on it. Maybe that's just me. The next bit is going to be performance-based testing on this car. At the end of the day, everyone wants to know, that's watching this video, that is a young driver, can this beat my mate's 1.1 106 up the dual carriageway? Can it outperform my mate's Toyota Yaris round a corner? So we're going to find out. Onwards to the B roads. Onward! Sport on the dash right there, and we're going to unleash the 178 brake horsepower that this 1.4 litre turbocharged engine has. And I must admit, in sport mode, it's very bumpy. But that's me being an old man, because I've turned 30. So I think everything is just uncomfortable at the moment, but incredibly responsive. The steering, fantastic in sport mode. The actual throttle response as well, on point. Now, yes, this is a young driver's review of this car, so I'm trying to put myself into a 17, 18, 19-year-old's shoes for the day to see what this thing's really like and what it can offer me as a younger driver. And I must admit, if you're going to get in one of these and, you know, you're sub 20 years old, phenomenal car, phenomenal car. You have a soft clutch, you have a fantastic braking system from the Brembos up front, you have mountains of power, considering that you've probably never even driven a car with this sort of power, this sort of pace, these sort of brakes on it before. So you've got to remind yourself that when, you know, I flick from car to car very regularly, and I get in something like this, and you need to step back a minute and realise that this car and what it can offer isn't necessarily for the RS3 owner that wants to get in one. Jumping from that car into this night and day. It's going to be though. That's, you know, when it came out, a very expensive car, 4-wheel drive, 2.5 litre turbo. It's a hot hatch or a mega hot hatch, whereas this is, I would class it as a small hatch, like a small car. There's a tractor in the middle of the road. Right, first things first, is it small enough? Absolutely perfect. It is small enough to get down a country road with a tractor. And as a new driver, think about it, You want that safety net of a smaller car when you do get yourself into those situations. So it's tick that box. It's nice and small. You can park it very easily. There's parking sensors on the back. And although the seating position is high in these ABARTHs, it has been for the 11 years, 12 years these have been out, means that you can actually survey the perimeter when you are driving, parking, trying to go past tractors. It means it's actually an easier car to drive and live with, because you can park it easily. You can see that the door ends right here and the bonnet ends right there and the boot ends right there. There isn't a lot of leeway in you actually, you know, damaging the car at all by scraping up a pole or a tractor or that tree. Now the pace of this thing is something that I really enjoy. I like the way the power comes in, and I love the exhaust note on this one. Phenomenal exhaust note. Quad exhaust as well. I mean, doesn't get any better than that. It means that you can enjoy it down a B road without really any worry about meeting something coming the other way, because it is quite slim, this car. It's a slim car. Yes, they look a little bit wider than and more aggressive than a 500, but in reality they're the same platform and they're the same sort of size. So you can get away with slotting it in a little parking space. You can get away with going down a road and enjoying yourself and not being too worried that there's another car coming the other way and you're not going to make it through the gap. Yeah, so I think your mate's 1.1106. It's a good car. It's a good car for a young guy, but if you're gonna jump in something like this, I think you might win in a drag race, which is a good thing. Another thing I wanted to touch on, I went on to some generic search engine for insurance and I pretended to be an 18-year-old and I wanted to insure this car, and the insurance was £1,800. I didn't think that was too bad. Here's the problem. Had a black box. There's no point in having a black box on a bath. Why is the world come to this, where the only way you can get cheap insurance for a young driver is a black box? Oh, it does my head in. There's no point. You might as well get a 1 litre one. You might as well. There's no point in having this car if you're going to have a black box in it. You want to enjoy this if you've got one. You want to sprightly go down the road in it. You're not going to be able to do that in a black box. You're not going to be able to do that with a black box. Guess how much it was without a black box? £2,500. That's too much money. So although that's my personal circumstance, say of living where I live, that's still a lot of money if you think about it. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. But that's just me touching on a part of insurance and living with this car that you would have to put up with if you were 18, 19 years old and you wanted to jump in one of these cars. So we've covered what you can get in the back of it. We have covered the sound system. It has a DAB radio and Beats by Dre sound system, which is phenomenal. The bass is mental in here. It is getting what is 40 mpg around town, which is a very good effort. Financing, we're going to talk about it because people don't talk about it. Financing one of these cars, incredibly easy. They're minimum deposits and a very small monthly figure. Yes, it does determine on your credit score and all this business, but you can jump into one of these for a couple of grand and then a couple £100 a month, which is phenomenal value. Phenomenal value. Oh, next test is coming right up. Oh, you ain't even ready for this one. You are not ready for this one. Slim car, thank God. There's a massive motorhome in front of me. I am so easy. That was so hats off. ABARTH, small car, easy. If I was in my Audi then, I'd be genuinely very worried. Not wanting to buy a brand new one. There's many of them on the market. You can get one that's 2008, 2009 plate for what, 5.5 grand, 6 grand at a push? And they're swarming in the market, swarming these cars. So you can get one, same colour you like, wheels on it, exhaust, air filter, tell your insurance. You can get all of that and have a cheeky bath that pops and bangs with the reliability, the comfort inside, the boot space you need, because you don't need to take your family anywhere. You don't really need a big boot in one of these. The reverse is if you're not a young driver and you still want one of these into your later life, let's say, it still works out as a perfect little car because you've got the power to, you know, have a little laugh in. You've got more than enough space in here for you, the girlfriend, kids in the back if you really need it, or just you on your own, or just the missus going to a pub on a Sunday. It does that part really well as well. I've found after my week with this car that I've been using it to just dart to the shop, dart here, dart there, and that's where it really comes into its own, this car, because it's incredibly easy to live with this thing. It's so easy and just enjoyable to just dart about in it. I would rather pick this over my RS3 to go to the shopping. That's the reality. Me as a driver, and I've driven loads of these, and I've driven loads of cars, I'd rather go to Morrison's and park this up because it's easy, it's in and out of the space, it's easy to go round the corners, it's just simple, it does better MPG. If you're buying it for that, you're on to a winner. I've got this funny thing for an ABARTH where they've just got a cool factor. Like an A1 is cool, a Polo is cool, but these are just a little bit cooler in my books.